I'd like to welcome everyone to our Terp Young Scholars orientation for the campus option. The purpose for this orientation is to help better prepare you for what to expect during your time with us in Terp Young Scholars this summer. My name is Jenna Godley. I'm the program manager for Terp Young Scholars, and I use she, her pronouns. Just some quick Zoom housekeeping. As I said, this session will be recorded. We will also send a link to all enrolled students and parents after the session. So you don't need to take extensive notes. And if you have a student or know a student who is unable to attend, we will be sending this out to them as well. My colleagues will be dropping relevant links in the chat throughout the presentation. So anything we discuss on the slides, you will have those links for your records as well. We have turned off the chat, but we will be accepting questions via the Q&A function. So if you have any questions, please note that I may answer them throughout the course of my presentation. So I ask that you do hold most of your questions until we're nearing the end of the presentation. With our remaining time, we'll look at questions, aggregate similar questions, and ask any that would be helpful for everyone to hear. Now that we've covered that, I'm going to go ahead and get us started. In the orientation today, we're going to go over a brief overview of the Terp Young Scholars program, what you'll need to do to prepare for Terp Young Scholars, what you can actually expect during the program when you come to campus, and finally, what happens after Terp Young Scholars ends. At the end, as I said, we'll answer as many questions as possible with the remaining time. Terp Young Scholars is entering its 25th year at the University of Maryland this summer, so this is a really fantastic time to be joining us. We started in 2002 and we've run up through 2026. We are excited to welcome 430 Terp Young Scholar students to the University of Maryland's campus this summer. We also do an online program, and we have 270 students who will be taking one of 15 online courses at the same time as your students are coming to campus. As a reminder, you are enrolled in one of 17 different campus courses, and you will be earning 3 University of Maryland credits and a real University of Maryland grade. The core team overseeing the campus program consists of the following. We have several undergraduate program assistants. We have 2 graduate assistants, Kate and Maya. We have our program coordinator, Howard Lee, myself, the manager of summer, winter, and pre-college programs, and then Ann Baum, who is the associate director of summer, winter, and undergraduate programs with extended studies. You will be hearing from most of us, potentially seeing us around on campus during check-in, and we're really excited to meet you. We'll be putting several links in the chat throughout this presentation, but this one is so important that we wanted to have it front and center. If you have not yet reviewed the admitted students page, please be sure to do so in the next week or two so that if you have any questions or need assistance, we can make sure to get everything set before the program starts on July 13th. So all of the things that we're going to talk about doing, preparing, getting ready for the program. These need to be done within the next 2 weeks so that we have time to assist if there are any issues. Make sure you are all set and ready to go before the program. You will need to set up UMD accounts and access, and this involves activating your directory ID and passphrase. You'll also need to activate your TerpMail email account. This is going to be the primary email of record and how our program and your instructors may communicate with you, but we know it can be a lot for students to manage 2 separate email accounts. So on our website, we also have instructions for setting up your TerpMail account to forward to your preferred email account. So if you would rather get all TerpMail communication, all Terp Young Scholars communication to your Gmail account or whatever personal account you use, please follow those instructions so you can set up that mail forwarding. If you're not in the habit of checking your junk and spam folders, now is the time to start because sometimes our communication may filter to junk or spam. You'll also need to enroll in multi-factor authentication. And we want to stress that you should not wait until you get to campus to do this. This multi-factor authentication is how you're going to get access to all of our learning management systems. You'll get access to the Wi-Fi on campus. So it is vital that you have this set up in advance. I'd also like to stress this requires an app or a phone number to do that multi-factor authentication. And parents, please make sure that you are setting up this multi-factor authentication on your student's phone. It's really important that the student have access. Maybe they're on campus and they can't get in touch with you, so that authentication needs to be on their personal device rather than yours. You may also decide to grant access to academic and financial records. This is an optional process, but it allows parents to access academics and finances. If you haven't yet viewed your student's account, please be sure to do so within the next week so that if you have any questions, we can get them answered before the programs start. I do want to note that if you see any late charges at this time, they will be removed. This is a peculiarity of our billing system, and we will be taking care of those on our end. I do want to note that the payment deadline for complete program payment is on June 20th. So please, even if you've already submitted payment, take a moment to check your financial account, ensure that everything is looking correct, ensure that you've submitted all payment required, because we will be going through and canceling students who have not submitted payment after June 20th. You may also wish to request accommodations. Accessibility and disability support provides accommodations for eligible students, but they may need items from your student's physician or their current school to get these set up. So we recommend contacting our accessibility and disability support team without delay. You don't have to use accommodations if you request them, but if they're not in place before the start of Terp Young Scholars, it can be challenging to get them set up midstream when the course is already happening. So we encourage you to reach out as soon as possible, and my colleague should be putting a link for their information in the chat. In general, if you're having issues setting up your directory ID, your passphrase, Terp mail, multi-factor authentication, any of the above, you can always reach out to the Division of Information Technology for support. You can contact them via email or via phone, and they'll be able to help you set up your accounts and get ready for the program. We will be using a variety of methods to communicate with you in the program itself. The first is Elms Canvas. So Elms Canvas is the online learning environment that is utilized by all Terp Young Scholars instructors for their course. Some of you may already be familiar with Elms. It's kind of similar to Blackboard if that's what your school system uses, but you will start to gain access to these in the week leading up to the program. I do want to note, though, that access may not be granted all the way up to the first day of the program. So if you're getting close to your course's start, you're still not seeing your Elms Canvas course listed, that's okay. The instructor will decide when to make that course active. The Terp Young Scholars program team will also be sending you an invitation to the TYS program Elms Canvas page via email closer to the start of Terp Young Scholars as well. This year, we're also introducing the ability to receive text notifications. You can receive program updates and notifications directly to your phone via text message. You can opt in through this form. My colleague is going to put the link in the chat, or you can scan the QR code here on this slide. We encourage all of you to do so, as it's a great way to stay in touch with us, keep up to date on what is happening in Terp Young Scholars. We will also sign you up for UMD alerts. Students are automatically registered with their Terp mail address. You can choose to get text alerts. These are safety alerts, weather emergencies, etc., and are another really good safety measure to have in place. So I'm just going to pause for a second and let you all scan the QR code if you would like, or go ahead and copy the link to that form. Okay. Transportation to campus. So if your student will be driving to campus, it's important to note that they must purchase a parking permit in advance of coming to campus. The parking permit may be purchased online, and if you have any trouble purchasing a parking permit in advance of the program, please call the Department of Transportation Services well in advance of July 13th. We honestly recommend getting started on this right away if you have not done so yet. Every year we have one or two students who come to check in and tells us that they had trouble purchasing online parking, and then they have to pay for visitor parking on the first day and go to transportation services in person. Do not let this be you. It's very important that we get this set up in advance so that you have a really seamless transition to driving and parking on campus. If you may need to drive only a few times during TYS and park on campus, either as a parent or a student, you may utilize visitor parking. Note that all visitor parking accepts electronic payments only, and some locations you may also use the Park mobile app. Not all parking is visitor parking, so the Department of Transportation Services is not shy about giving tickets to folks parked incorrectly, so if you are using visitor parking, make sure that you are in one of those designated spaces. If your student will be commuting via public transit, note that the university does have a shuttle that runs from the College Park Metro Station, and several Metro buses serve campus. Schedules may be found on the Transportation Services website. And lastly, if you are interested in carpooling, you may fill out the form using the QR code above or the link that's about to go in the chat. While Terp Young Scholars does not plan carpools, if you complete the form, your information will be shared with everyone else who completed the form no later than July 1st. I'll give you a moment to go ahead and scan this QR code as well. And if you need help with any transportation services, if you have questions, you need help purchasing a parking permit, you can always reach out to Transportation Services via their email or their phone number. I'll have my colleague put those in the chat for you. And I do want to note that a summer parking permit is $228, and visitor parking is a max of $20 a day or $4 an hour. Most Terp Young Scholar students do choose to stay on campus for lunch, and we really encourage you to do so because students can eat at the dining halls, they can eat at the student union, cafes at the library, and also elsewhere on campus. Many students may also choose to bring a lunch from home. There are microwaves for student use in the Stamp Student Union. And it's important to know that all campus eateries are cashless, so your student will need an electronic form of payment, credit, debit card, or Apple or Google Pay if they plan to purchase food on campus. The one exception is if you purchase a summer dining plan. That purchase is made online on the dining services website and is attached to the ID card that they'll receive at check-in. The summer dining plan allows for 10 meals, which you'll cash in via a swipe in the dining hall. And it is a pretty significant savings over just a single entry. So if you wanted to just buy one entry to the dining hall, that's $15.99 versus $10.50 with the summer dining plan. That said, students can eat at the dining halls without a dining plan. It's just more expensive and you'll need an electronic form of payment. On June 21st, Terp Young Scholars will also provide one lunch for all students in a dining hall. We'll have some more details on a later slide. And while the dining halls can accommodate most diets and have detailed allergen information both online and in the dining hall, this is really important to note that if your student requires a kosher meal, you must complete a kosher meal request before July 6th. We're going to put this link in the chat right now. Just be sure if you do need a kosher meal, you're completing that request before July 6th so that we can order one for you. Any requests made after July 6th will likely not be able to be accommodated. We really do encourage students to come eat at the dining halls. The food is fantastic. My colleagues and I go eat lunch at the dining halls as well, and it's a really great way to build community, go with your class, chat, hang out, work on work, a really fantastic way to kind of experience campus life. If you need any help or have any questions related to dining services, you can email dining@umd.edu. You can call their phone number, or you can reach out and we can absolutely connect you. And just to note, a summer dining plan is 10 meals or dining hall swipes for $105. And I'm going to have my colleague put the link to the specific dining plans and creating a dining account in the chat. Some quick academic housekeeping. Most courses in Terp Young Scholars do not require textbooks, but a few do. We'll put a link in the chat where you can see if your course does require a textbook. And if it does, you can purchase it from the University of Maryland bookstore or from another vendor of your choosing. Most textbooks are also available at the University of Maryland Library. You can also see if the library has the book at lib.umd.edu. While no work is expected before Terp Young Scholars begins, syllabi are now available on our website. You can access these via a link in the chat that my colleague will drop for you. You can click on your specific course and you will see a link to the syllabus. Students are held to the University of Maryland's Code of Academic Integrity and our Code of Student Conduct. Both of these are detailed on the TYS Admitted Student website. I know I mentioned Elms Canvas before, but this is going to be a really important part of your learning experience at UMD. You will receive an invitation for the Terp Young Scholars in-person course on Elms Canvas, as well as your academic course. You'll get these via email to your email of record with the university. Your Elms Canvas course will be available as early as a week before, but as late as the morning of the first day of classes. And again, when that Elms page is published is at the discretion of your course instructor. Once you accept the TYS Elms and Course Elms pages, they'll populate here in this sidebar. You can see it says courses. You'll see a list of your courses. And you will have those two courses, your academic course and your Terp Young Scholars in-person course. In the image, you can see an example of the home page for Terp Young Scholars campus. And on the TYS Elms page, you can find information about university resources, such as tech support. You can also submit a conduct referral if you believe someone has violated the TYS Code of Conduct or Code of Academic Integrity. Then on your course-specific Elms page, you should be able to review your syllabus, locate your classroom, find your reading and/or assignments due on the first day. This may also be where your instructors ask you to submit assignments and receive grades. Once the classes start, do make sure you're spending some time exploring your courses in Elms Canvas. And if you have any questions about how to navigate or access the learning management system for you, there is a student guide that is linked both on Elms, and I'm going to have that link in the chat for you as well. We ask that you please review the TYS Codes of Student Conduct and Academic Integrity if you haven't done so already. These can be found on our admitted student website. And essentially what they mean is that while program staff will always be available to assist during the program hours if needed, you will officially become college students for 3 weeks during Terp Young Scholars. And thus you'll be expected to conduct yourselves with the independence and autonomy of college students. And that will look like arriving and departing the university safely, attending class, utilizing our resources. You'll be expected to walk to and from class without supervision, complete all course-related work, and seek academic and program support from your instructors and from TYS program staff when needed. Now let's talk about what's going to happen during the program. So the first big program event is check-in. That takes place on Monday, June 13th. And I have a link up here for you as well. This is going to take you directly to all of the check-in information on our admitted students website. This URL is so important. It once again gets its own slide. We really want to make sure that you all are prepared to arrive for check-in and get a really good start to the program. Check-in takes place on the west side of TYS Hall. The address is noted here. It's also on our website. If you pull up along Alumni Drive, staff will be there to direct your student to the check-in location. We recommend, actually, we believe that you as a student should arrive at check-in 1 hour before your course start time. We want to make sure you have enough time to get to TYS Hall, get checked in, get all of your materials, and be prepared to join your class escort. Courses start at 9, 9:30, and 10. And by now, everyone should know what time your course starts. So we ask that you arrive an hour before your course start time in this TYS location. If you're not sure when your course starts, visit go.umd.edu/TYS courses and click on course meeting times under your specific course. That's when you'll be able to see exactly where your course is going to take place and what time it's going to start and end. For the first day of class and only the first day of class, students will be escorted to their classroom. We will have staff there available to walk your students, kind of show them where they'll need to be going and get them acclimated to campus. Then after the first day, students can head directly to their course, but staff can provide assistance, of course, if needed. We are always here to help. We're often asked if parents need to attend check-in, and the answer is no. If you're driving your student to campus, you can simply pull up in front of TYS and let your student out. If you do wish to accompany your student to check-in, please make sure you either have a parking permit or plan to park in visitor parking and walk to TYS. I want to be as clear as I can be, you will get a ticket if you leave your car in Lot 1 without a parking permit. Lot 1 is directly across from TYS Hall. It's the closest place to pull up and drop off students, but you cannot park there without a parking permit. If you're dropping off your student, make sure you've arranged a plan for where and when you will meet your student after class or at the end of the day when you're ready to pick them up. So what should you bring to campus? We recommend bringing casual clothes. Don't forget business or smart casual clothes as well, depending on what your course is going to be working on. Maryland is hot and humid in the summer. The sun can be intense and classes are throughout campus, so there may be some walking involved to get to your class in the mornings or to the dining hall after class. We also recommend that you plan to bring athletic clothing and a swimsuit for activities, and you will also have access to the university's recreation and wellness center to be able to use the gyms and pool. So we always recommend students take advantage of all of the amenities on campus, and it would be a shame to have a perfect day. All of your friends are going for a swim and you didn't bring your bathing suit. So make sure you're thinking those things through, what you might like to do on campus after class. I do want to note that some courses will require closed-toed shoes. If these are required, they will be noted on the syllabus. You should bring lunch. Lunch is not provided, so make sure you either bring a lunch or money to purchase lunch. Some campus eateries, including the food court in the Stamp Student Union and select dining halls, are open over the summer if you want to just come to campus and buy food while you're here. Note that our dining halls, I know I mentioned this earlier, but they have gone cashless, so if you are planning to buy a lunch, make sure you have a credit card, debit card, Apple Pay, including Apple Cash or Google Pay. You can also visit our dining services website for hours and locations for specific eateries on campus. And the link is also going to be in this slide. So when we send these out, you'll have access to that as well. You should bring course and study supplies. These are pens, pencils, textbooks, notebooks, laptops, etc. Do bring valuables at your own risk because we do not have a designated secure area for you to store anything. There are lockers at the Stamp Student Union and the Epley Recreation Center that students may utilize. In addition, I do want to point out that the libraries offer equipment borrowing privileges and offer items such as laptops, calculators, cameras, etc. So as a University of Maryland student over the summer, you have access to all of that. You can borrow laptop and cell phone chargers in case you accidentally leave those items at home. And we'll drop the link in the chat for where you can find equipment borrowing on campus. So if you really want to bring a laptop to use in your course, or there are certain materials that are required for your course that you don't have, equipment borrowing is a great resource to take advantage of. Each of you will receive your own student ID card when you check in on the first day of the program. You will need this card to swipe into specific buildings, such as Recwell facilities, to ride the campus shuttles, to check out library materials, and more. So make sure you always have this on you when you're on campus. These are non-photo IDs, and they must be used in conjunction with a photo ID, such as a driver's license or passport. So you should have with you your photo ID and your university ID card. You should also bring your health insurance card or information. Students can visit the University Health Center on campus during its hours of operation for non-urgent medical care, and your insurance card will be needed to receive those services. There are also many ways to get help if you need help this summer, and the first is by emailing us at tys@umd.edu. Emailing us is the fastest way to get support, as our email address is monitored by multiple staff members every day from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. TYS staff will also be in a centralized location on campus throughout the program. So from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Monday through Friday, you can find us in the TYS resource room, which is in Jimenez Hall, room 1104. If you need any help from us, you can stop by this room. We will always have staff there, whether it's to express concerns about a course, maybe you need to be walked to the health center, maybe you need to find transportation services. We're here to help with all of that. You may also wish to make use of faculty office hours. So if you need help with an assignment, please speak with your instructor during their designated office hours. They'll make those available to you in the syllabus. And lastly, we have the Writing Center. The university's Writing Center is open during the summer, and it's available to help students with writing assignments, anything from brainstorming to a final review of any papers or writing assignments that you may have in your course. Once you get out of class for the day, we absolutely encourage you to explore campus. There is so much to see and do, and some of these things include Epley, the recreation center. This is our flagship rec center, and it has tons of space and equipment to help you stay active. We have a swimming pool, climbing wall, and a bouldering zone that are all available for student use. We also have the dining halls, and I personally think we have absolutely fantastic food on campus, but you don't need to take my word for it. You should try it out yourself. The campus dining halls are open over the summer, and you can even buy a summer dining plan to get multiple meals at a discount. We also absolutely recommend you check out the campus libraries to find a good book or a quiet place to study. And I am not just saying that because I was a library science student here. We absolutely have fantastic library resources. They will not be crowded over the summer as they typically are during fall and spring. So this is a great time to really claim the best study spots for yourself. Or if you're working on a group project, head over to McKeldin, grab a group study space to work on that together. You can also check out the Clarice. This is our performing arts center, which houses our university's music, dance, theater, and other performing arts programs. They also put on a variety of shows, including concerts and plays year-round. And then we'd also encourage you to check out the Terp Zone. This is held in the basement of Stamp. You'll find the Terp Zone, which is our campus gaming center. It's equipped with bowling lanes, pool tables, video games for rent, and more. And as students, you all have access to this space as well. For more information, I've embedded several links in this slide, which you'll be able to access once I email you all a copy of this presentation, just so that you can check out some of those amenities. There are a few program events that are for all students. Our campus events are as follows. After the first day of class, we encourage students to visit the Maryland Dairy to enjoy ice cream with their new classmates. You will be given an ice cream ticket that you can go redeem, and we are encouraging all classes to go over together, have some ice cream, and really just talk about their first day in the program. Then on Tuesday, July 21st, lunch will be provided in one of the campus dining halls for all students. Again, the dining halls are generally able to accommodate all diets, but if your student needs a kosher meal, please do remember to complete that form as soon as possible. And after the last class on July 31st, families are welcome to join us at Terp Zone for light refreshments, bowling, billiards, and games. We'll be celebrating the end of Terp Young Scholars with a fun afternoon of camaraderie. We'll also have two online events that campus students are welcome and encouraged to attend. We have a session from the Office of Undergraduate Admissions and a session from the Office of Student Financial Aid. They'll hold two webinars for families of Terp Young Scholar students. So this is great, especially if your student is interested in applying to the University of Maryland. We really encourage you to attend, learn a bit more about the admissions and financial aid process. Zoom links to these will be sent before each event, and parents are welcome to accompany their students. After Terp Young Scholars, instructors will enter grades throughout August, and your grades will not be mailed directly to you. Instead, you can access your final grade via Testudo, and my colleague will put the link for that in the chat. Once your final grade has posted, you can request an official transcript from Testudo as well. We always seek feedback from students and parents, and we'll be sending you a survey at the end of the program. That will be your opportunity to tell us about any other courses or types of courses you'd like to see offered in Terp Young Scholars 2027. We already have some really exciting new courses in the works that we can't wait to share with you all, but we would absolutely love to hear from you and get a sense of what you might like to see offered as well. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. With our remaining time, we're going to be aggregating some of the questions that were submitted into the Q&A, and we will try to address as many as we can. So let me get this up quickly. Okay. There we go. All right, I see the first question here. Were we supposed to be given a university ID card? Can we just bring our school ID? So you will need a photo ID card and your university ID card during Terp Young Scholars. You can absolutely bring your school ID as a form of photo identification. However, you will receive a university ID card at Terp Young Scholars check-in. When you check in, you'll come in, you'll give us our name, and we will give you a name tag and your ID card. So that's when you'll receive that card, and you will need the university specific ID to access things like the gym, the library, buildings on campus, dining hall, etc. So it's still very important that you carry that ID card with you. Aside from the first day, are students expected to arrive any earlier than the start time for the course? Great question. Aside from the first day, no, you are not required to arrive early. We do recommend planning to get to campus 15-20 minutes before your class starts. Traffic can be unpredictable around campus, and we really don't want students being late to their courses. But after that first day, you're welcome to go directly to your classroom. And as long as you are there by the class's start time, there's no prior activities that will be happening before your classes after check-in. Are dining plans required to be purchased in order to get food from dining halls? No. So you can purchase one of those summer dining plans, and that's 10 meals that will be put on your university ID card. You can just swipe in. It's 10 meals for about $10 per meal. If you do not wish to purchase a dining plan, you can absolutely still eat at the dining halls. You will just pay the door price, which is $15.99. So it's a little bit more expensive if you don't purchase a dining plan. Also important to note is that the dining halls are cashless. So you would need a credit card, debit card, or Google Pay, Apple Pay in order to get into the dining halls if you don't have one of those plans. If the student is under 18, does the parent need to sign a waiver or anything for them to use the climbing wall or rec center? Great question. So students have access to certain rooms within the rec center, I believe without signing a waiver, but additional sections, the climbing wall and bouldering zone, I believe does have an additional waiver that the parent would need to sign. So if that's something that your student's interested in participating in, they would need to go, they'll check in at the rec center desk as soon as, in their first swipe through. They would get whatever waivers need to be signed, and then you could sign them and they could return and use that, use those amenities after those waivers have been signed. So they'll let you know if there are certain things that you're interested in. You can also go ahead and reach out to them now if you'd like to sign those waivers ahead of time, if your student would like to jump right into participating. Let's see, other questions here. Will there be any kind of final exam? That's a really great question. And the answer is it really depends on the instructors and how they are choosing to teach and grade the course. There will typically be some kind of final graded assignment, whether that's an exam, a paper, or a group project, a presentation. You can expect some kind of culminating project or activity that will be graded at the end of the course. Some courses, it may be a formal written exam. We encourage group work. We encourage kind of hands-on learning throughout Terp Young Scholars. So more than likely, there'll be some sort of presentation element or a project-based element to your grades as well. But what I will say is our syllabi are now posted on our website, and the syllabus for your specific course should detail the types of assignments you can expect. So we'd absolutely encourage you to go take a look at that syllabus. It'll give you more point-by-point details about how that grade is going to, what's going to form that grade, whether it's a project, presentation, or a formal final exam. My student has a dairy allergy. Will there be a non-dairy option on the first day? I am so glad you asked this because I too have a dairy allergy. The Maryland Dairy does have several dairy-free ice cream options. There's typically a vegan ice cream flavor, and then there are several sorbet flavors available that do not have dairy. So if you have a dairy allergy, never fear. You can still come to the ice cream social, and you'll just be eating the same ice cream that I'm eating because we are very grateful to those dairy-free non-dairy options. How much homework each day? Another great question, and another question that's really going to depend on your course. A lot of our courses, you'll complete the majority of the work in the classroom. We really encourage, as I said, hands-on learning, group projects, kind of getting your hands in whatever assignment you're working on in the classroom. Some courses may have homework. There may be readings that are expected to be completed outside of class, assignments that you'll have to work on outside of class time, either individually or in a group, and all of that information should be contained within the syllabus. If you still have any questions about kind of homework assignments or expectations, you can always reach out to the instructor directly, and that can also be a great question to ask on the first day of class to get a sense of how much time the instructor is expecting you are spending on classwork outside of the classroom. How do I make a TERP email after I already made my directory ID? Great question. So making your directory ID is the first step to activating that TERP mail email account. After you have activated your directory ID and password, next step is going to be going to terpmail.umd.edu. I believe my colleague can put the link in the chat, and you will set up another password for your TERPmail account. We have information about how to do that, instructions about how to set up TERPmail on our admitted students website. So absolutely go to that admitted student website and follow those instructions to set up your TERPmail account. Where do we find out where our classes are? Class locations have been posted on our courses page. So if you go to our TERP Young Scholars website, go to our courses page. The link I know has been put in the chat a few times, but you can also just visit our website, click courses, and it'll take you to that page. You'll then navigate to your specific course. Once your course comes up, you should see a link for class meeting times and locations. So if you click the link for your specific course, it's going to pull you to our website, Testudo. That's where our schedule of classes lives. It'll open up that schedule of classes. It'll show you your class start times, class end times, and the location for your course. However, if you are looking at the location for your course and you're going, this is a bunch of letters and numbers, this means nothing to me, that is okay, because that's why we provide you those classroom escorts on the first day. So you'll come to check in, you'll tell us which course you're participating in, we'll check you off, and then we'll have a class escort who will actually take you to the classroom on that first day, so that you can get a sense of where you need to navigate to on campus. How do I sign up for the UMD internet? Great question. So the Division of IT has instructions about how to get connected to the University of Maryland's internet. It's called EduRoam. I believe, and you all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you can't get logged into the internet until you actually arrive to campus on that first day. So just take some time to, Howard, if you can put the link to our internet connection tutorials from the Division of IT, if you can put those in the chat. Just plan to take some time to get connected and logged in. You'll log in using your directory ID and password once you're on campus. Okay, let's see. Would one's TYS course grade impact their admission to UMD later on? Do admission officers see participation and performance in this course? The answer is you earn in TERP Young Scholars a very real University of Maryland grade. So there are a lot of factors that go into admission at the University of Maryland. Participating in TERP Young Scholars is not going to guarantee you entrance to the University of Maryland if you decide to apply. But participation in TERP Young Scholars does earn you a University of Maryland transcript. So if you apply to the University of Maryland and you did very well in the course, admissions officers will see that A on your University of Maryland transcript. And if you apply and you did poorly in the course, admissions officers would see an F on your University of Maryland transcript. They do see overall performance. They're not going to be able to see participation information, but they'll see your course and the final grade that you earned, which is why it's very important to understand that this is a college level course. Participation and Completing your assignments is expected. However, we have instructors who are very excited to work with high school students who understand that this might be a high school student's kind of first experience with college level coursework and who are excited and understand some of the support needs there. We also are always here. So if you are halfway through the course and you're concerned about your grade, you're maybe struggling or you need some extra support, please, please, please reach out to us so that we can talk about options, whether that is, again, additional support resources, or whether you might want to look at withdrawal if you're concerned that you might not be getting a grade that you would like on a final transcript. Let's see. Yes. My daughter may want to stay on campus after class to study and play basketball. We're concerned about safety. Are there any central locations or security personnel that she can seek assistance from if she ever feels unsafe on campus? Yes. Terp Young Scholar staff will be in a central location on campus. Will be found in Jimenez 1104 between the hours of 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So at any point, if your daughter feels unsafe, if any student feels unsafe, they have questions about security, they just need a place to come and sit while waiting for a parent to pick them up, you are always welcome to come to 1104 Jimenez. We will have staff there and we can provide assistance. University of Maryland also has some really great security features. We have UMPD, so that's the University of Maryland Police Department, who are on call and available to answer if there are any security questions. There is also, we have blue light systems, so in various locations, pretty close to each other, so you can, kind of see one from where you're at. We have blue lights, which provide an automatic way to call for assistance if you ever feel unsafe on campus. And so we are always here to provide support, but there are also kind of broader University of Maryland support services and safety services that you can make use of. Okay. How long is each class? Class times vary. So most of our classes, as I said, start at either 9, 9:30, or 10. All classes will either end before lunch or have a break for lunch. And then some courses have an afternoon lab or discussion component. You can find your specific class times on that Terp Young Scholars courses page. So you can see when your class starts. You can also see when your class ends. Okay. Any others? Does participation in this program offer any advantages for when students go to apply for college at the University of Maryland? So like I said, there are many factors that go into admission, and participation in Terp Young Scholars does not guarantee admission to the University of Maryland as a whole. As I said, it provides you with a University of Maryland transcript. So that is something that admissions officers will see when they're looking at your application. Also, if you choose to come to University of Maryland and you get accepted into the program, a lot of our courses fulfill general education requirements. Some also fulfill major requirements. So you would already have those 3 college credits that would apply to your University of Maryland transcript, would potentially fulfill a gen ed requirement, and may even fill a major requirement on campus. Where can I check what course I will be taking? Another fantastic question. So all students, when you were admitted to Terp Young Scholars, received a welcome email. This email included information about it provided you with your UID, and it included information about which course you specifically were registered for. So this should have come through the email that you used to actually apply for the program. If you are unable to find that email, please just reach out to us and we can take a look. We can provide you with your course information and help you figure out which specific course you are registered for. What is typical class size? What is the typical size of classes was the question. Class size absolutely varies. We have a lot of courses that are between 15 to 25 students. We have some larger courses. I know our architecture course tends to be a larger course. Our business course, I believe, has about 62 students. So it really does depend on which course you're enrolled in. You can also get a sense of class sizes by going to our courses page. When you click the link that will take you to class times and locations, you can get an approximate number of students enrolled in the course on that page as well. Do the credits I earn from the TYS classes count toward my high school GPA? The answer is no. These are college credits. So unless your high school has some process by which you can apply college credits retroactively to a high school transcript, these credits will apply for college credit at the University of Maryland, and you may be able to transfer them to a different institution if you go elsewhere for college, but they typically do not automatically count towards a high school GPA. The classes take place every day. Yes, they do. Classes are Monday through Friday at the time specified on that courses page. This is a great question. As it is a college level course, are there college students or is it just high school students? And it will, again, depend on the course. So we do have some Terp Young Scholars courses that will contain only Terp Young Scholars students. We make every effort to ensure that Terp Young Scholars courses are majority Terp Young Scholars students. However, we do have some courses that may have undergraduate students enrolled. We make instructors aware of this if there are going to be a mix of high school and college students in a course. And we ask them not to pair college students and high school students with group work or any work that would require meeting or communicating outside of the classroom. But there may be in certain courses a few undergraduate students enrolled in addition to Terp Young Scholar students. Okay. Let's see. Going through the chat, the Q&A here. Okay. I'm having a hard time logging in to check the courses I picked. Is there a portal where I can log in that provides the course details? Another great question. Again, you should have received an email when you were admitted to the Terp Young Scholars program that contained all of the information about the course for which you were registered. If you did not, if you didn't see the email or you're struggling to find it within your email inbox, you can reach out to us and we can provide that information for you. Okay. Let's go through some other questions here. How should students address unexpected absences, say from illness? That's a fantastic question. So as you all know, we encourage students avoid missing class time whenever possible. These are really condensed courses, typically Terp Young Scholars courses. These are 3-week college courses, 3-credit college courses, which would typically run over the duration of an entire semester. And these are condensed down into 3 weeks. So missing 1 day of class is actually akin to missing a week of class in a standard session. Now, that said, we know that unexpected illness, injury, emergencies may arise that require you to miss class. So if you plan to miss class, we recommend that you reach out to your instructor as soon as possible. They may be able to provide you makeup work, any missed assignments, to make sure that you are still on track to succeed in the course. If you know now that there are certain dates that you may need to miss in the program, please go ahead and reach out to us and your instructor. We can kind of discuss whether attending the program makes sense, whether you'll be able to stay on track given the absences that you may need to take. If you are finding that you are missing a number of classes, you're struggling to stay on top of your work in the course, please do also reach out to us and we can discuss the best way forward. Again, whether that is withdrawal, working with the instructor to provide you some makeup work, etc. But in general, we encourage you to miss as little class time as possible, just so that you're staying engaged and participating in the course. Is there a dress code for classes? That's a great question. So we typically recommend appropriate casual clothing for classes. There's no particular dress code for Terp Young Scholars writ large. However, certain classes may have dress expectations. So for instance, if you are in a class that requires a lab, you may be expected to wear closed-toed shoes. You may need to wear long pants or sleeves. If you are I'm trying to think of other courses that may have dress code expectations. If you're in the business course, you may need to at times dress business casual if you have a mock presentation. Same for a mock trial course. So the dress code for your individual class will be set by the instructor and will be found in the syllabus. So just make sure you're paying attention to those things within the syllabus of your course. And if you have any questions, you're not, entirely sure what the dress code is, you can always reach out to your instructor and they should be able to provide you with clarification on that first day of classes. Let's see. Do students have access to campus amenities, gym, etc., only during the duration of the class? Students have access to campus amenities during the summer 2 session. So that will be access during the program, which is the 3 weeks, and then in the following I believe it's 3 weeks. You'll have access through August until that fall semester begins. So you won't have access before you come to check in and get that ID card, but you'll have access throughout the entirety of the summer 2 session at the University of Maryland. If you get a bad grade for the course, is there any way to remove that grade from your UMD transcript? If you know that you are getting a bad grade in the course, you're not going to earn, say you're going to earn a D, F in the course, the best course of action is to, before the program ends, request a withdrawal. So if you withdraw from the course, you'll have a W on your transcript, but you will not have a grade that will impact your University of Maryland GPA. And I will say we work really closely with instructors, we work really closely with students to make sure that if anyone is in that position where they're not sure they're going to get a grade that they will be happy with, we will work with students through that withdrawal process, because the last thing we want is for you to leave Terp Young Scholars with a negative mark on your GPA that's going to impact you in the future. So we will absolutely work with students to make sure that we can process that withdrawal and remove that grade from the transcript before the end of the program. Okay. Let's see, going back through questions. Okay, will we have the opportunity to meet Testudo? I am so glad you asked this question, because the answer is absolutely yes. You may have seen on one of our slides in this show, in this presentation, we had a picture of Testudo with a student. This was during Terp Young Scholars check-in. We do invite Testudo to come welcome students to campus. You'll have the opportunity to hopefully get some swag given to you by Testudo. You can take a picture with Testudo, do the high five. It's a lot of fun. It's a great way to kind of get welcomed to campus in style. We will also have Teddy the Terp joining us, who is one of UMD's beloved UMPD dogs, who loves all the pets, loves to take pictures with students as well. So we have some really exciting and fun things planned for check-in, just to make that experience a little more special. Looking on the Canvas page, there is a class called Commuter Package. I'm assuming this is a general enrollment class for information of some sort. Yes, great question. So you can disregard the commuter package page on Elms Canvas. You will be invited to a page that will say Terp Young Scholars Campus, and that is the general enrollment class for the program where we'll provide some information and you'll have access to some specific programmatic content. The commuter package is just noting that you are indeed enrolled in the campus course, so you can disregard that class on Elms Canvas. What time do we have to leave campus each day? So you choose when you get to leave campus each day. You can leave after class. Some students will take a class in the morning and then they will need to leave campus for other obligations, whether that's another job, just getting home, working from home. You are more than welcome to head out after your class ends, but we absolutely encourage you to stay on campus, make use of all the campus amenities, go to the gym, go to the pool, do your work in the libraries. Again, Terp Young Scholars staff will be on campus until 5 p.m. So if you want to remain on campus during Terp Young Scholars staffed hours, we will not be staffing that room after 5 p.m. Does one get a W if one cancels by June 20? No. You can cancel your Terp Young Scholars enrollment without a W through the first day of classes. So if you decide at any point between now and the first day of classes that this program, for whatever reason, is not for you, you can cancel and you will not receive a W on your transcript. I see. Will there be homework or projects assigned on the weekend? This is absolutely up to the discretion of the instructor. So there may be work that is expected to be done over the weekend, such as reading or assignments. I would recommend taking a look at your syllabus, and it should have the general structure of how assignments are going to be given and when they are expected to be completed. You can also speak with your instructors for clarification on when assignments are due. Speaking of swag, we would love to represent the TERP scholars and purchase TERP merchandise. Is there any discount afforded to participants? This is a great question. So there's no discount afforded on the bookstore merch that's available. However, I am really happy to share that we have some fantastic swag that will be given out to our TERP Young Scholars students. So your students will receive those at check-in. They're TERP Young Scholars branded items that are really, really phenomenal, and we hope that students will get a lot of use out of during the program. Let's see. Any recommendations for high schoolers to psychologically prepare for the increased workload of college in a compressed course and how parents can support? This is a fantastic question. And I would say the biggest thing is really just reading through the syllabus and getting prepared. So we work with getting prepared to kind of understand what those course requirements are going to be. Also, if you are someone for whom accommodations have been helpful in high school, reaching out to make sure those accommodations are in place, and reviewing University of Maryland's resources like the Writing Center, so that if you get into a situation where you feel like you need some extra support in the course, you have those resources lined up for you. I do want to stress that our instructors are all phenomenal and they love and are really excited to work with high school students. So though, yes, this is college level work, we still want it to absolutely be fun and engaging and a positive experience for students, not a insanely psychologically stressful experience for students. So I think as long as you're reviewing the syllabus, you're making sure you understand any course material that needs to be gotten in advance, understand the requirements and expectations of the course, you should be absolutely fine. Please also know that if you do get into the course and you feel like you need some extra support, want to talk things through, you can always reach out to us at any time, and we are absolutely here to help. Okay. Will the recreational areas like the gyms be open on the weekend? That's a great question. Summer hours for each of the recreational areas may differ. There are several different gyms and different resources within the gyms that have different hours. The best way to get the hours for each specific amenity is to look on the Recwell website. And I will have my colleague Howard put that link in the chat, but summer hours should be posted on the website for each specific gym or recreation center. You can also follow, when I send out these slides, the um, slide that contained information about the different amenities on campus has some links to those places individually. So for example, you can click the Terp Zone link and see if the Terp Zone is open. You can click the Epley link and look at our Epley Rec Center hours as well. Can you please address health services available to the students or generally on campus? Absolutely. So Terp Young Scholar students are considered University of Maryland students, which means that they do have access to the University Health Center. So any health center resources over the summer that a standard undergraduate student would have access to, Terp Young Scholar students also have access to. So if your student becomes injured on campus, if they're feeling unwell, we direct them and can also provide an escort to the University Health Center where they'll be able to see a doctor, get assessed, get, referred if they need a referral. They are also our medication administrators. So if your student has medication that they need to take or have on campus, you can reach out to the health center to discuss those services as well. Okay. Okay, I think that brings us right to 6:30. So unfortunately, we are at time. If we did not get to your question, or if you have a student-specific question, you'd like a follow-up about anything that was discussed here, you can always email us at tys@umd.edu. We absolutely look forward to seeing you at check-in. We also are hosting, a pre-program drop-in Q&A. And that's going to be on July 8th for the campus program. That's for any last minute questions. So anything coming up right before the program starts. But I would like to reiterate, we really recommend getting your account set up, parking, kosher meal requests, anything that you need to take care of before the program, please do so within the next 2 weeks so that we can assist you if any issues arise. This Q&A will be here for you if you have any of those last minute questions. Please do reach out to us beforehand if you're having specific issues that you'd like to address. The Zoom link is here, but we will also email this to you about a week in advance as well. Thank you so much for coming, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. And we look forward to seeing you on campus at check-in on July 13th.